Hello, this is David Gottfried, and this is part 2 of my essay entitled The Transsexual Acid Trip. As I said, part 2 will suggest that male to female transgenderism may be caused by environmental ills. I will do this in part by examining the case of Bruce or Caitlyn Jenner. Now look at Jenner when he was an athlete at the pinnacle of power and success. He looks in all respects to be happy as a man. When he competes in feats of strength and energy, he gives it his all. He is aggressive. Just look at his face and its congruity with his body when he is in the midst of an athletic endeavor. Just as his body is muscular and powerful and irrefutably male, his face is determined, enthusiastic, and aggressive. In addition, he fathered several children. I don't want to be coarse, but to understand phenomena, we must be frank. To father children, Jenner had to have had an erection, and with that erection, he must have entered a woman. I have never known of a man who has not enjoyed himself when he was thrusting with his penis. Therefore, we can safely conclude that he was enjoying himself when he fathered his children. Enjoying penile vaginal sex in the active role, or for that matter, enjoying penile anal sex in the active role, is fundamentally male. When a man plows his phallus into a receptacle, he is enjoying a fundamentally and irrefutably male act. I cannot for an instant entertain the notion that a substantial part of his brain was female. He might have had one small section of himself that wanted to wear dresses and makeup, but that is no reason to have oneself castrated. We have to understand that every male has some female qualities, and that every female has some male qualities, and that the fact that a man possesses some feminine habits does not warrant bodily mutilation. Indeed, Freud, who is today generally thought of as anti-female, patriarchal, and doggedly hard-assed about sexuality, actually said that we were all somewhat bisexual because we all have some hormones of the opposite sex. As bizarre as it may sound, the testicles, the veritable citadel of biochemical masculinity, produce, in addition to testosterone, estrogen. It is my hypothesis that Jenner was not born a female in a male's body. Rather, I propose that something in the environment may have feminized his mind. Several studies have indicated that many new pesticides mimic estrogen. Humans ingest these pesticides when they buy produce in the market. Of course, given that a huge proportion of our legislators are bought and paid for by big money, huge agricultural and chemical outfits blithely poison us to their conniving heart's content. In addition, since the advent of birth control pills a few decades ago, the level of estrogen in the drinking water and in other features of the environment may have been increasing because birth controls contain estrogen and or progesterone, a derivative of estrogen. Indeed, some biologists have seen the development of hordes of intersex fish, which were male fish who were emasculated by estrogen derivatives in the water. I refer the reader, for starters, to an article entitled Water Pollution Caused by Birth Control Poses Dilemma. This article was written by Win Parry, Parry, in the May 23rd, 2012 issue of the journal Live Science. Now, many changes have transpired among men. Male hormone levels are declining. Sperm counts are declining. In the past, infertility in couples was usually caused by the woman. Now the man is often the culpable party. Gynecomastia, commonly called man tits, is on the rise. And also, just turn on old soundtracks and listen to the way men used to sound. Al Smith, at a political convention, shouted with more gusto than Jackie Gleason on The Honeymooners. Listen to the proud, stentorian roar of JFK at his inaugural address, telling us in martial cadences to ask what we could do for our country. Something has changed. Unfortunately, I don't think that the problem will be investigated, let alone alleviated or in any way addressed. Very simply, what I have said will offend both the left and the right. By claiming that transgenderism may be the pathological result of chemical poisoning, I may have offended the left, for whom transgenderism is the newest, exciting deviation of the day. And by asserting that birth control pills may be the culprit, the left will definitely despise me, as they will assert that any discussion of the negative effects of birth control pills is tantamount to forcing women to bear more children. Also, by claiming that the culprits may be pesticides and birth control pills, I am suggesting that we need more legislation to regulate the industries which produce these products. Of course, since conservatives imagine that the merest regulations on business are tantamount to Stalinoid socialism, the right will hate what I have to say. Nothing will get done. Unfortunately, that's the way I see things. This is the end of part 2. This, again, is David Gottfried. Thank you and goodbye.